My name is DeWayne Collier. I am a restaurateur in the city, and I'm reading today for you Trombone Shorty. It's a very inspirational story, and Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews actually wrote this book, and it's illustrated by award-winning Brian Collier, who is maybe a family relative of mine. I don't know. But it seems like to be a very inspirational story of how a young guy grew up in a neighborhood and became one of the top musicians in his own town. Where you at? Where you at? We have our own way of living down here in New Orleans and our own way of talking. Where you at? Lots of kids have nicknames, but I want to tell you the story about how I acquired my nickname. I grew up in a neighborhood in New Orleans called Trombone. Any time of the day or night, you could hear music floating in the air. And there was a musician in my house, my big brother, James, who played the trumpet so loud you could hear him halfway across town. He was the leader of his own band, and my friends and I would pretend to be in his band too. Follow me, James would say. I love the brass bands with their own trumpets, trombones, saxophones, and the biggest brass instrument of them all, the tuba, which rests over a musician's head like an elephant's trunk. Where you at? Where you at? The musicians would call. All day long, I could see brass bands parading down the street. While my neighbors danced along, I loved these parades during Mardi Gras because they made everyone in the town forget about troubled times. I listened to all these sounds and mixed them together, just like how we make our own food. We take one big pot and throw in sausage, crab, shrimp, chicken, vegetables, and rice, whatever's in the kitchen, and stir it all together and let it cook. When it's done, it's the most delicious taste you've ever tried. We call it gumbo. Yes, gumbo, one of my favorite meals. One of my favorite meals. And that's when I wanted to make my own gumbo with my own instrument. But first, I needed an instrument. The great thing about music is that you don't even need to have a real instrument to play. So my friends and I decided to make our own. We might have sounded different from the real brass bands, but we felt like the greatest musicians of Trombone. We were making music, and that's all that mattered. Then one day, I found a broken trombone that looked too beaten up to make music anymore. It didn't sound perfect, but finally, with a real instrument in my hand, I was ready to play. The next time the parade went by my house, I grabbed that trombone and headed out into the street. My brother James noticed me playing along with him and smiled proudly. Trombone Shorty, he called me out because that instrument was twice the size of my little frame. Where you at? They would say. From that day on, everyone called me Trombone Shorty. I took that trombone everywhere I went. I never stopped playing wherever I went. I was so small that sometimes I fell right over to the ground because the instrument was so heavy. But I always got back up and I learned to hold that trombone up high. I listened to my brother play songs over and over, and I taught myself those songs too. I practiced day and night. Sometimes I fell asleep with the trombone in my hands. One day, my mom surprised me with tickets to New Orleans Jazz Heritage Festival, the biggest and best festival in town. We went to see Bo Diddley. Yes, Mr. Bo Diddley, who my mom said was one of the most important musicians of all. As I watched him on stage, I raised my trombone to my lips and started to play along with him. He stopped his band in the middle of a song and asked in the crowd, "Who's that playing along with me in the crowd?" Everyone started pointing to Bo Diddley, and he couldn't see me. He couldn't see me because I was the smallest one in the place. So my mom held me up and said, "That's my son, Trombone Shorty." Bo Diddley said, "Well, Trombone Shorty, come on up here. Come on up here." The crowd passed me overhead until I was standing on stage next to Bo Diddley himself. I walked right up to the microphone and held my trombone up high, ready to blow. "What do you want me to play?" Bo Diddley asked. "Follow me," I said. After I played with Bo Diddley, I knew I was ready to have my own band. I got my friends together and we called ourselves the 5 o'clock band because that was the time we went out to play each day after finishing, listen, our homework. They didn't play until they finished their homework. We played all around New Orleans. I practiced and practiced. Soon my brother James asked me to join his band. When people wondered who the kid was in his band, he would proudly say, "That's my little brother, Trombone Shorty. Where you at?" And now I have my own band called Trombone Shorty in the New Orleans Avenue, named after a street in Tremay. I played all around the world, but I always come back to New Orleans. And when I'm home, I make sure to keep my eyes on the younger musicians. I try to help them out and give them the same opportunity that my brother gave me. Today, I play at the same New Orleans Jazz Festival where I played once with Bo Diddley. And when the performance ends, I lead a parade of musicians, just like I used to do in the streets of Tremay with my friends. "Where you at? Where you at?" I still keep my trombone in my hands, and I will never let it go. Trombone Shorty, a very inspirational story, and one that I really can relate to because I too play the trombone and mostly all brass instruments. So remember, Trombone Shorty. My name is DeWayne Collier of the Brentwood Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. Thank you.